Denver, I think that's a brilliant series of commercials.
And because I'm the backup, we're going to go for the early points.
Oh, are you sure?
Field goal. Yes.
We got a coach just gonna not lose his mind.
We're going to think.
We're gonna have that. Welcome to PTI. Tony apparently has better things to do, so I am joined happily by our great friend from the starting lineup on Sirius XM, Mr. Frank Isola.
Wow. I got cheered twice. There must be Seahawks and Patriots.
Let's begin with the Seahawks beating the Rams in the NFC Championship game 31-27. Sam Darnold threw for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks for Seattle. The Rams, meanwhile, muffed a punt that led to a score, and in the fourth quarter, with a chance to take the lead, were stopped on 4th down from the Seattle 6. Frank, what did you make of what the Seahawks did and how they did it?
I thought they were terrific. I think Sam Darnold answered a lot of questions. You mentioned the numbers that he put up. I also thought when the Seahawks got the ball back after they stopped the Rams on 4th down, he threw for 3 first downs. So they were aggressive. He was smart, and it didn't kill the clock completely, but essentially ended the game. So I think for Sam Darnold, the guy that was a high draft pick in New York, bounced around in Carolina, did go to the Super Bowl as a backup with San Francisco, had a great year last year with Minnesota. Well, you have a quarterback like that. Why are you letting the guy go? And now he ends up in Seattle.
I agree with that.
And how about the year that he had, the game that he had, and that wide receiver for Seattle, Jackson Smith-Njigba? How good is he? And how about some of the hits that he took?
If you had to pick a receiver to save your own life between him and Puka
Nacua,
who would you
incredible.
Take? You wouldn't know. They're the 2 greatest things you've ever seen. With all due respect to, Jerry Rice.
They take big hits, they make catches, and the one so Nacua catches the touchdown. It makes it 31-26. I understand it's late in the third quarter, but the one thing about Sean McVay, what about going for it, going for a 2-point conversion there? If you miss, you still need a touchdown.
I think there was enough time.
But Mike, if you make it, now you're only down 3. They did reach a point where maybe it was something. I'm sure he did consider.
We're gonna get to real second guessing of a coach in the next story. But let's stay on Seattle for a second. I feel pretty good about this because today, the trade deadline, when the dust settled, I thought that Seattle was the best team in the league, and they proved to do that. This had to be on the quarterback. This was a referendum on Sam Darnold, a guy who was just turned loose from multiple places. And last year, it had to be sort of an indignity. He had 2 bad games, but he also led the Vikings to something they couldn't reproduce this year.
Yep.
And he was so humble. And he took the high road yesterday, interview after interview, and asked how he felt about his journey, having to take this winding road. And the way he handled himself. But I just thought, I kept waiting. I'm going to be honest about it. I was waiting to, okay, is he going to go Sam Darnold? Is he going to go New York Jets Sam Darnold? It's almost an unfair question to ask. He answered it anyway. And so Seattle's just, can we say Seattle's the best team? Seattle's the best team in the NFC.
I think you're right. And, we had the stat on Friday about when the number 1 scoring offense faces the number 1 scoring defense in a conference final Super Bowl, the defense always wins.
That's right.
And it's the same thing when it's the leading passer in the NFL plays the number 1 scoring defense. The defense always wins. And Seattle's defense in the moment of truth came up big, especially on that the second to last series by the Rams. When Stafford, give him credit, he drove them right down.
He's got those downs in. You think he's going to put the ball in the end zone on one of those throws. You do not think that he's going to come up empty, that Matt Stafford's going to come up empty. And by the way, going back to Seattle, when Los Angeles answered with a scoring drive, Darnold goes right down the field and Seattle scores as if he'd been doing this all his life.
Yeah. So how about this, too? USC, who's had all those great tailbacks, obviously, over the years. Sam Darnold, the first USC quarterback that's going to start a Super Bowl.
That's a stunning, not believable stat, which I heard an hour or so ago.
I think of all those great players, Marcus Allen, back in the day, Charles White.
But at tailback.
Yep, Anthony, the tailback.
And not all of those guys made Super Bowls either.
No.
The college game was a completely different game.
First USC quarterback. They've had so many great players. Never a quarterback start a Super Bowl. Hard to believe.
It is. And by the way, this notion is somehow Matthew Stafford, his future is in question. What?
He's coming.
What? He's the MVP.
What a great
Where's he going?
What a great, and so tough.
It's a totally great player.
That's why they shouldn't have run the ball on second down late in the game. Over in the AFC, the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. without anyone named Belichick or Brady. Head coach Mike Vrabel, quarterback Drake May, and a tough defense helped the Pats edge the Broncos in the mile-high snow 10-7. Denver head coach Sean Payton said he regretted his decision to pass on a field goal in the first half that would have put the Broncos up 10-0. So, Michael, what stands out to you about this result?
The snow and Sean Payton. That's it. That's all. I'm not going to go with a backup quarterback. I'm not going to go with Stidham. That's just almost unfair. I mean, we knew he was going to struggle. If you didn't think he was going to struggle against a defense as sophisticated as New England's, even if it was dry out, you're not paying attention. No. It's the weather, and it's Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a great coach. Who wouldn't want to have Sean Payton? He is also as arrogant as a summer day in Alaska is long, okay? He doesn't have the stones, apparently, to just say, I am to blame. I didn't kick the field goal. It's my call. I got to live with the decision. No, like it's a third person. Sorry, dude. And I think about all the times he made Russell Wilson look bad. He went after him, and he's got a bully, got that Parcells bully gene somewhere in him. And then he blew it. You got a backup quarterback who's going to pass in 11 years. You got weather. You know what the conditions are, and you're a damn good coach. But no, your arrogance took you there. That's what took Sean Payton there, and I'm glad he's got to live with this.
Yeah, so we all on the East Coast, most of the country, we spent a couple of days knowing that a snowstorm was coming. So we prepare in advance. Shouldn't the head coach of the Broncos know that a storm might be rolling into Denver?
It's a little different. It's a little different.
You say it's a little bit different.
Quick.
Mike.
Comes faster in Denver over those mountains in the Rockies.
You have to consider something like that. And the fact it's a backup quarterback.
Yes.
Up to that point, the Patriots hadn't done anything. I could hear Bill Cowher, take the points. You take the points, you go up 10-0. Does it mean you're going to win? Maybe not. But Drake May didn't have a great game passing the ball.
No, he didn't.
You gave the Patriots their opening. And after that, after they didn't convert on fourth down, they had 3 field goals the rest of the game. I'm talking about Denver.
Yeah.
And 54 yards. Their offense didn't do anything. So then the weather comes in.
3 first downs.
3 first downs. I'm sorry. 3 first downs. Then if you look at what happened to the Patriots, Drake May, the biggest plays that he made, Mike, were
with his feet.
Exactly.
And his head.
He scored a touchdown, after which would have been a crime if they didn't score, because why are the referees blowing the play dead? Let the play out.
What is that?
It's ridiculous.
Not enough discussion
he scored
about
on
that either.
He converted a 4th and 1. He had the 28-yard scramble, and then how about the bootleg at the end of the game?
And yet, if you kick the field goal, Sean Payton, you've got the points, and you don't give them a short field to score their only touchdown on. So Sean Payton's got to live with this.
He was chasing that field goal the rest of the game.
Of course he was.
Just kick it right there. Go up 10-0 with it. But you know what the problem, too, is in today's NFL, everyone goes for a 4th down, which is fine.
Yeah, because
it's
everybody's got some analytics monkey on speed dial that's telling them what to do instead of sometimes using common sense. The analytics can't take into account whether you've got Stidham, 9th-string quarterback, or Joe Montana. The analytics can't tell you that.
And Stidham, he hung in there, but the turnover in that first half was a killer.
I don't want to blame him.
But you can't do that. Mike, just take the sack.
There's one person to blame, and we've done it. At least I have. So, in 2 weeks, we'll have the Seahawks and Patriots facing each other in the Super Bowl 60. The same 2 teams have met in the Patriots' dramatic win in 2015. Frank, what are your first blush thoughts on this matchup?
Well, the number 60 certainly applies because both teams went into the season as 60-1 favorites, or that were their odds, to win a Super Bowl for both of these teams. So it's a great story for both of them. I think when you look at Seattle, you tend to always go with the defense, and their defense has been outstanding. Mike McDowell, you look at him, the 2 years in Seattle, they've ranked first in points allowed. Last year, they were 11th. The last 2 teams in Baltimore were both in the top 5 in terms of points allowed. So defensively, they're
superior.
They're terrific.
Yeah.
And you still are dealing, I like the Drake May story. It's unbelievable that the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl with a new head coach and a new quarterback, but he's still a little unproven. I like his toughness. I think he has a chance to be great. but it wasn't like he was throwing the ball all over the field during the playoffs. I don't know whether it has something to do with it.
We had two weather games.
But all right, but
and
Mike,
so that's why I'm reluctant to
if Seattle has a lead,
defense,
especially late, you're going to side with Seattle.
I'm siding with Seattle already. I've been siding with them since October.
Yeah.
Because I just think that Seattle has the goods. And so now, I guess it could go the other way. That's why these games are so great. But Sam Darnold, if you feel that all these questions are behind you and you can just go in with a clear head, and you've got these 2 weeks and let these coaches, let this staff that you praised, so I thought it was very genuine when he talked yesterday post-game about the teammates and the staff of coaches that sort of propped him back up, given his journey and given the bumps in the road. So if you're Sam Darnold, do you ever go into a game more confident than you go into the Super Bowl, given what you've just come off of to get your team there? I don't think so.
And you have that defense. How about New England? 9-0 on the road. Everyone's, the schedule is that hard. You still had to go to Buffalo to win.
Yeah,
You still had to go to Denver to
on
win
the road.
an AFC
Wins are
championship
big,
game.
no matter what.
And I know quarterbacks were it's not baseball pitchers, but Drake May, he's played in 3 playoff wins. That's as many as Lamar Jackson. It's one more than Dak Prescott. He's accomplished a lot in just his second year in the NFL.
Yes. We're taking a break. When we come back, what's the word for the Steelers' hiring of Mike McCarthy as their next head coach?
And will injuries to Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, and Jonathan Kuminga keep them from being traded? Sean Payton just texted he wants to talk to you.
Yeah, let him. Emails. Let's get the first one, Frank. I'm going to read it to you if I can get it open. Mail time. First email. It's on McCarthy. The Steelers' McCarthy. What's the word to describe the Steelers' hiring of Mike McCarthy?
I think it's smart, and I understand that some fans don't like it. I guess on social media, it's being panned. Look at the 2 coaches in the Super Bowl. One is a first-time head coach in Mike McDonald, and then you have Mike Vrabel, who obviously got experience. There's nothing wrong with the Steelers hiring an experienced coach, who, by the way, is 174 and 112.
I was going to say.
And has won 11 playoff games.
If he was some dude, that'd be one thing, but he's not.
And let me ask you this. Have the Pittsburgh Steelers done a pretty good job hiring coaches?
They have. You would think that family would get the benefit of the doubt over anybody hiring a head coach in the league, considering they've only had now, 4 in the last, 50-some years.
Yeah. Joe Starkey in the Pittsburgh Tribune, it was pretty interesting. He said it's kind of similar. Mike McCarthy, Mike Tomlin are kind of similar. Earlier in their careers, you give them an A+ for what they accomplished, Super Bowl. Maybe the latter years, a C+, which is fine. But, Mike McCarthy had some good years in Dallas.
Yes,
he got a little
did.
unlucky in the playoffs. I thought he did a pretty good job developing the quarterback. Now, he did have Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
By the way,
but Aaron Rodgers, he might even be on the team next year.
I'd have another word if Mike McCarthy hooks up with Aaron Rodgers again, this time in Pittsburgh. That I don't care to see. But Mike McCarthy, first of all, he's very deserving.
Yeah.
He's a worthy coach in this cycle of NFL coaches in terms of what he has done in a couple of different places, not just one, where he rode only one quarterback, whose name shall not be mentioned, but he had the good years in Dallas as well. Won 12 a couple of times.
The Rooney and the Mara families are connected through marriage, the Steelers and the Giants.
Yeah.
And the way they went about their coaching hire is pretty similar. The Giants went with the experienced coach and John Harbaugh, and obviously Pittsburgh hired Mike McCarthy. I like the hiring.
I like the hiring a lot.
And I bet you like it a lot more because social media doesn't like it.
You think I'm paying attention to social media?
With the injuries to Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, and Jonathan Kuminga, what has it done to the trade deadline?
It eliminated the trade deadline. The trade deadline is irrelevant. Because if you're not talking about at least 2 of these dudes, what are you talking about? You're talking about some minor trades that'll still go down. And also, you're talking about a season that has been reduced. I mean, Kuminga, I realize that Kuminga, it hasn't worked at Golden State, but it could work somewhere.
Yeah.
Kuminga's too talented a player, and he's only, 23? Yeah. He wears a championship ring. Don't tell me that Kuminga's not worthy of someone's time.
He was their leading
investment.
scorer when Steph Curry went down against Minnesota. He was their leading scorer in that season.
So now he's just going to what? Just going to sit? And Giannis, they need Giannis in Milwaukee? No, No, Giannis needs to be gone from Milwaukee. I'm not saying he needs to demand a trade. That's not his way. Good for him. But the Milwaukee Bucks are going nowhere with Giannis.
Yeah. So Kuminga's got a bone bruise. They're saying he's out indefinitely. A bone bruise, that could take a while. Giannis is saying himself, like
He
he's
said
a doctor.
4 to 6.
He said 4 to 6 weeks, which not only makes him unhealthy for the trade deadline, he will not be available for the All-Star game where they're going to have U.S. team or 2 U.S. teams playing their national team. That's another story.
Yeah.
And then the injury to Ja Morant is an elbow, which doesn't appear to be as serious. My thing about Ja Morant would be this, though, Mike. The Washington Wizards essentially stole Trae Young from Atlanta. They didn't give up a lot to get him.
Yeah.
Would a team now with Ja injured, with all the issues that he's had, would you try to lowball Memphis and think, you know what? We'll take him now. When he gets healthy, he'll be good in our program. I'm not giving up first-round picks for
Ja Morant in the DMV. Really?
No, I didn't mean Washington. I meant what Washington did.
Oh, what Washington did.
Yeah.
Another team doing that.
Do
Okay,
that with
another
Ja
team.
Morant.
There's certain places I'm not bringing Ja Morant into. Okay? We got to be honest about Ja Morant and the influence that he's susceptible to and that he has. And so the fact that Ja's become irrelevant, it's sad.
That's why you could
It
steal
really
him.
is.
That's why maybe you could
I mean,
steal
for
him.
very different reasons, he and Zion,
Yeah.
who should be two of the faces of the league, poof,
I know.
they're not relevant.
And
Unbelievable.
And I think Giannis will get traded, but I think Milwaukee waits till after the season. They know
They gotta wait
which
now.
teams, like where they're drafted, like
gotta
what
wait.
position they're going to draft in. Because
Yeah.
you're trading Giannis, you better get young players and draft picks back.
They got to wait.
Yep.
It's the trade deadline. What happened?
Next week, next Thursday.
Yeah, wait. Thanks for your email. Let's take one last break. When we come back,